being a DJ, we had to like sort of ease it in, sneak it in, ride it in, and play it. So then Curtis Blow came up, clap your hands, everybody. So rap started to catch on, and then but in order to catch on, you had to have your street DJs like myself and individuals who had to bust those records and play
Yeah.
for the public to hear and start to become aware of.
And by this time you were about 17?
Maybe about 17. And then about that time, we had Sugar Hill Drop and then maybe Curtis Blow and then Run DMC. And then a radio station by the name of 1580K that came along, which was on AM, and it was, I believe, the first professional syndicated radio station to play rap.
Okay.
I think most definitely on the West Coast. So they gave us like about maybe an hour, and then guys, what we would do was called mixtapes, and we would mix records together and send it into the radio station. If it was hot, they play it. So that's how mixtapes sort of came along, first mixtapes, and then after that, they had a major contest, like about 300 DJs at a place called, I think it was the Universal Convention Center or something like that.
Oh, right. This is, 1580K Day.
Yeah, Greg Mack and can't think of the program director's name right now. And then another young lady who I became familiar with later on, Rochelle Lucas. They were very, very instrumental in pushing the rap and hip hop era onto the radio scene. And then after that, it was pretty much industry, a $1 billion industry. Later on, you got the Easy E's who came out and made the legendary gangster rap, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Q, DJ Pooh.
Yeah, can you talk about DJ Pooh? Because you call him your protege. Talk about him coming to your house.
You
After
like
school.
that when you see this too. Hey, that's true.
He doesn't like it?
Nah, that's my boy. I mean, Pooh, I knew Pooh since he was yay high when he was coming up in the area that we lived in.
He was younger than you?
Oh yeah, Pooh, I think probably about 4 or 5 years younger, at least about 4 or 5 years younger. I'm almost 50, so the dudes I think were maybe about, see, I was 17, so Pooh and him had to be in between 10 and 12 at the time. So, but I had a best friend, rest in peace, by the name of Dion. We were the first ones to really have turntables in the neighborhood. So I was the first one because I was working at Musicland, and I was basically the only one who really had a job. So I mean, we were street hustlers, but we basically took our scratch money in order to build our studios. Took our scratch money and then whatever else money. Like I said, I had a real job, so I would take whatever monies I had to go out and buy studio equipment. So I saved up enough money to buy my first turntable while I was at Cleveland. I put it on layaway, I think, and then I finally got enough money to get it out of layaway. And then Radio Shack was right across the way. I went over and bought a little realistic mixer, a little bit, but of course that. But I made it work.
Yeah.
So I was the first one to start mixing in our neighborhood. So it was a big deal. I used to come over and we do the house.
You would have people come over to your house?
stay around, get filthy rich, get taken out, go to jail, or make a change. So I was always pretty astute when it came to studying and bookworks. I tell a story to some young kids sometimes. I used to hang out with the homies till like about 1, 2:30 in the morning. But underneath all the drugs and the guns and the alcohol, Jay, I had a gang of books, man. So I hung out, smoked weed, and I drank with them dudes all night. But they didn't know I'd go home and literally smoke weed all night and study my ass off, man.
This was during high school?
Yeah, this was during high school. So I studied so much for it. I couldn't test. I'd go the next day and I wouldn't miss nothing, not one. I wouldn't miss a question. So I took pride in that. I went on 3.8 average, and I went to a Catholic school in ninth grade, and I was second on the honor roll. So I took pride in that, and like I said, I was a pretty much good kid, but I had to survive, man. So, and being an only child, and a product of a female parent, I didn't have a female figure around, so I had to learn the hard way, man. I had to survive. I fought 3 to 5 times a day, coming home. We was talking about this
3 to 5 fights per day?
Yeah, line them up. Line them up. That's how we did. That's what you had to do. Because 9 times out of 10, if you fought somebody else, he had a friend or another buddy, so you wasn't just fighting them. Sometimes you had to fight them both at the same time. I'm not gonna say I won every fight, but I became pretty decent, to where I handled my own, and became pretty decent at some other tactics too. So,
what do you mean by that?
I think you can fill in the gap, and then I became familiar to where I was embraced by certain individuals, and they knew I had friends at that time. So, I refer to it in the book, the little, conversion or inception that happened that made me, I guess, form another alliance with some new friends, transpired. But it was an interesting era.
So the decision to go in the Air Force came out of a bottom point of your life where you decided either I stay here, end up in jail, or
Make a change.
Yeah. And the Air Force was a natural choice?
Yeah,
How did you find the Air Force?
Actually what happened, Jay, recruiters used to actually follow me around, man. I went to El Camino, and they'd be like at high school. They was calling my house all the time. My mom like, look, quit calling him, he's not going. But when things started got shaky between, the household, my mom,
right,
and the neighborhood, I'm like, man, what else is it? So I went up to a recruiter, this big recruiter right to my Hawthorne. And I went up there and I took the test. I think I took 3 of them, 3 or 4, where I scored pretty doggone high. And the doggone suckers started fighting on me. The Navy, the Army, and the Air Force recruiters started fighting, because when I went to take the test, I was supposed to be going for the taking the test for the Air Force, and he wasn't there. So they slipped me another test, and I took. And then they tried to recruit me into either the Navy or the Army, and then my recruiter found out, like, no, man, look, you're supposed to take this, I think, an ASVAB or something like that. And I think I ended up taking 2 tests, and either took 1 or 2 tests, but either way, I was like, no, I wanted to go to the Air Force because I really wanted to be a pilot, but I ended up becoming a satellite communication specialist, and that's basically the basis for
where this came from, yeah. Which is a cool part of the story as well. So this clear this up for me a little bit. This is a little bit confusing for me. You talk about, in this section, you say you went to the Air Force in 1989. How old are you at that point?
25.
Okay, so you're long out of high school.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is just the part we can straighten out in the narrative a little bit when I go through it, because you talk about then being honorably discharged from the Air Force in 1990. You come back, And then you talked about studying for school.
Community colleges.
So this is, okay, so we're talking about college here, not high school.
Yeah.
Because you say you had to make up for the time lost back to 10th and 11th grade.
I skipped over because time loss was when actually remember I mentioned I got caught in a couple stings.
Yeah.
So I had almost straight grades. So I would miss like the last quarter of those 2 years.
Okay.
So
For two separate incidents.
2 separate incidents, 10th grade and 11th grade.
Okay.
And then my senior year, you know how usually your senior year you had half a day. Well, I had like 5 or 6 classes to make up. So that's
Okay.
special.
But when you came back from the Air Force, you weren't still taking high school classes. You were doing community. Okay. So that part we can rearrange that before you go into the Air Force.
Almost definitely.
Okay, cool. And then when we talk about you, I like the idea a lot of talking about you staying up until 1, 2 a.m. and then studying. That's you enrolling in community college when you got back from the Air Force.
Yeah.
And that's when that happens. Which was the name of the college?
Oak Middle.
That was Oak Middle.
Right down the street from us.
Okay.